Hello, Liliana, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good to see you, Liliana. Um, class EDC, I guess EDCI 8321, Dr. Karen and colleagues. Liliana and I formed a collaborative partnership, a little group of our own, and decided that since we were doing strategy 13, as you can see here, strategy 13 and strategy 14 role play, we thought we'd do it collaboratively, both of us together. And if this works correctly, you should be able to see myself and Liliana off in the right-hand corner. That is us, and we'll be doing this collaboratively. At the moment, we're doing this via Zoom. We're share screening my screen, and while I go through strategy 13, and then Liliana is going to take over in strategy 14. Is that right, Liliana?
Yes.
Fantastic. Great. So I guess we should just dive right in. Liliana and I came across these two great apps that we first started to work on. One of them is called Stormboard. That's the one that we started on. And she'll go over that one in a little while because we put strategy 14 into that application. And it seems to be great for brainstorming, and she'll show us what we're going to be doing with it. But we started there, and from there, both of us decided we were looking at this and came across the Annotate, which is on the left-hand corner. And I'm going to be doing the Annotate version of strategy 13. Basically, what it is this application. Anyone as a group can download PDFs of any sorts, or they could download images or anything that they want the whole group to annotate. And what we've done is we've converted the 6 pages of strategy 13 of Tate's. Is it Tate? No, it's not Tate. It's not Tate. Yes, Tate. Tate's chapter 13, 6 pages. Converted them to PDF and then put them on here for you. And we're going to walk you through this. Now, I'm going to walk you through this in 2 ways. First of all, I'm going to walk you through as an instructor, and then I'm going to become part of a collaborative team of just another student, Liliana and I, in a little team of 2. So, in order to facilitate that, I'm going to have 2 roles. Talk about role play. I'm going to have one as a teacher and one as a student. If you go back, what did I do? You go back into Annotate, and by the way, you will have access to these URLs, websites that Liliana and I have right now, and we'll walk through this. First of all, you see the first page, it's in gray, but we can walk through and see all the pages. That's page 1. This is page 2, 3, 4, and so on. If we go over to page 1, what I've done is coordinated with Liliana to where I, as the teacher, will be putting instructions in the green little boxes. Now, this basically is an annotating application. And it works great because both Liliana and I have access to it and see it simultaneously at the same time. So whatever I put in there, she gets to see it a little while later, and it's back and forth. So if you noticed, I put some instructions up at the top that say, instructions on the top left corner, you can choose any of the 6 pages in this assignment, and I just went through that, right? These here. Now, this is green, so this is me as the instructor. Over here, these are actually going to be our instructions for you as a class, because we're going to ask you, all our colleagues, to function as part of our group here. So we're going to ask you. You'll have the URL in later on, but we'll ask you to, first of all, it says choose a quote from the following 6 pages and tell us why you consider it important. For example, and then that's when I've given you an example, and I said collaborative response to title for cooperative learning, and also in not light blue, it's white. See here, I did a response with my name, and I said, I once thought collaborative learning was just merely grouping kids together and asking them to try to work together. And boy, was I wrong. And then I replied to myself a little while later and said, collaborative learning And by the way, here is what the teacher responded in me. Collaborative learning must have 5 essential elements: a positive interdependence, accountability, face-to-face interaction, personal group skills, and group processing. And this is according to Johnson and Johnson from their famous book, Cooperation in the Classroom. And again, that's me responding as a teacher to me, the student. That is fantastic, I think. That's just great. But if you go further down in white, me as the teacher, what I also did is I highlighted the sentence here and said, class, there may have been a typo in this sentence. How would you correct it? Now, the sentence reads, since the brain likes challenge, the objective is to recall at least 12 facts about the brain. I don't know about you, but that sounds a little fishy to me. I would think since the brain likes challenges, or since the brain likes a challenge, or since the brain likes to challenge, somehow I think there's a typo in there. How would you correct it and why? Well, of course, at or to. It just seems like there's something different, and that was me asking a query. And so what I've done is I've categorized it as a query. Now, I've also done, as a teacher, I've gone over and I put in a question for Liliana, and I've made it in pink. I said, Liliana, would you comment as to why 2 heads are better than 1? And I highlighted that section. And what Liliana did is she responded. Why does it say, what does it have my name on it? It should have your name. I don't know why.
I'm here, yes.
Because it did it. Why did it change? Maybe I changed it at one point. But
We think alike.
yeah, we may have changed it a while back while we read it. But Liliana responded here, and she put in here, why I did something wrong again. I crossed out your name.
That is correct. It's just the color that is changed, yes.
Yeah. There it is. Okay. So what she did is she responded and she put in here, we each think alike and different in the same time. And in physics, we learn that motion is relative depending on the system of reference that is used. A traveler in a plane is not moving with respect to the plane, but is moving with respect to the land. Similar, we adults think from different perspectives. Why am I reading this? Yeah, you should be reading this.
I tried, but you were changing.
I take over, I'm sorry.
You're changing your color, that's fine.
Yeah, this is yours, really. Could you please take over? Oh, can you read it? You can read it?
Yes, I can see it.
No, good.
We each think alike and different in the same time. Just like in physics, we learn that motion is relative depending on the system of the reference that it's used. For example, a traveler in a plane is not moving with respect to the plane, but is moving with respect to the land. We adults think from different perspectives. Some of my 12 facts will be different than yours. Therefore, we can put everything together and have more than 12 together.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a great response on there. But I, as a teacher, this is a great tool to be able to actually put in a name and say, Johnny, could you please respond to this? Or maybe if we open it to everybody, you all will have something different to look at. Here's an extra comment that I put in here, or in at the bottom. It says, in fact, the brain research is telling us that the brain learns at least 95% of what it is able to teach to someone else. I agree wholeheartedly. What I basically put on here is the grading process. I really do not like grading process. I don't believe in grading process, not only because it's tedious for me. Yeah, it's beside the point. But also, no, it's because I get very good at essay writing. I get very, very good. But I'm not the one that needs to practice it. The one who needs to practice it is a student. So if we do this in a peer review and we do this collaboratively, then the teacher, one student teaches the other student, hey, you need to take a look at the grammar here, or you need to, they'll give them what to look for. And in the process, they teach each other. And that's exactly what that means. So I love the peer review. It's part of the collaborative process. and it works great. Now, in this process, what we wanted to do is further go up here, and we're going to ask that that you all please dial into or get into this website and choose your own quote from the 6 pages. Let's go to the, I know that Liliana and I had a couple of more quotes that we kind of wanted to talk to. Here's another one on the 2nd page. The idea is that, of course, shouldn't the job of any teacher be to get students to the point where they no longer need you? In fact, our job should be to do ourselves out of a job. I agree completely. This should be we should instead become facilitators to where they no longer need us. And by the end of the year, hopefully, that's exactly what we've done. Now, Liliana put in some comments. Oh, here it is, Liliana. You know what we didn't do, Liliana? This is yours, and the only thing we didn't do is we didn't put it in. We should have put it in pink, but that was our idea. And Liliana can go back in there and change it, because we're trying to do every student in a different color. She did this one down here too, for example, and they're both great responses. You want to go over these, Liliana?
Yes. When teachers supported themselves through peer coaching groups that met regularly together and plan and discuss lessons, implementation rates of new knowledge and skill exceeding 90%. And my comment is that it's exactly how I feel about this class, adult learning. Every week we learn and improve our skills just by collaborating and discussing with each other.
Yeah, I've so many of the students have so many skills. Colleagues, they're our colleagues. Kelly's music, wow, he wowed us last week with all that music. I was astounded. And I listened to that little girl playing the violin over and over. And I'm going to try my hand at that too. So I agree with you. Yes, you're totally, absolutely right. And we do that collaboratively together. Even though it's asynchronous, we still get to interact. We wanted to do Liliana and I wanted to do an actual collaborative online as we are together. And this is our version. You want to go over to the other one, Liliana? One at the top I think is yours also, right?
No, it's yours, but let me read the paragraph and then you continue with your instruction. Okay. Healthy human brains are wired to connect and be social. For example, mirror neurons in the brain are activated when we see another person engage in an act, such as eating.
That is exactly, you know what it brought to mind? My goodness, if that is the case, that it is normal and it is good, it is correct to be social, then I put on here that antisocial behavior is then not healthy. So the ramifications are astounding, I think. If we begin to say, hey, whoever is not acting socially, well, they're not exactly, according to this, what do they call it? Human brains are wired to connect and to be social. For example, we are activated when we see another person engage in an act. I thought there was another one that said it is normal to be social. That brings to mind that we have to kind of talk to students when we see them become antisocial. There must be a reason for it. So we must investigate, and that is why most of the teachers are taught to address the antisocial behavior. I think that is very important. And then Liliana's comment was,
on the other hand, who wants to be normal today?
Yeah, good.
I also thought that it's interesting that we have our brain activated when we see another person engage in an act. And instead of eating, why not seeing someone studying or playing violin? That should inspire us too.
I agree. You're absolutely right. Now, there is an option here that we could do, which was great. We want to just show it to you all as teachers. For example, let's say I wanted Kelly, just because Kelly, hey, you came up to mind, but let's say high performing. If I want you to react and say, Kelly, could you talk to us about high performing high poverty schools that have structure in place to ensure the teachers work together. Could you tell us something about that? And we could do this is we could, as a teacher, we could highlight this, and we could give this to, by the way, give it a new tag and call it Kelly. It's Kelly Stewart, right?
Kelly Stewart, yes.
Kelly Stewart. I don't mean to pick on you, Kelly, but you came into mind when about the music. So, and we could, and what I could do is, I didn't put in a question. I could do is I could put in a question here. Would you elaborate on this quote and make it a different color? Give Kelly a green, no, not green, yellow, right? Yellow, because I don't think we've had yellow. And save it. And there it is. I think I've done 2 now. Maybe this was the one I should have put. Either way, that is, here you go. Save it. Now, Kelly has an action item in here. And we're going to ask that all of you dial in eventually and choose your favorite quote from among these 6 pages. By the way, I don't mean to take away from or pawn off our work to you all, but I think it's a whole lot nicer to have every one of us collaborate in here and show what we've been doing. For example, I think this would be great if we could all, at least, if we don't find a quote, then could we talk about, and this is, I believe this is the last page, which says, which reciprocal teaching or cooperative learning and peer coaching activities am I already participating in my professional learning, or what additional activities will I incorporate? All you have to do is, when you get to this page, is just click on it and start writing. You can put your name on it by adding a tag, and we can see it. Okay? I think this is a great annotating tool, collaborative online, which is what we're moving for. This is a fantastic idea. We're so excited. I know Liliana and I we're excited, so I'm hoping you all will be too. That takes care of chapter 13 for the most part, right, Liliana? Unless you have anything else that I missed.
No, I don't think you missed anything. So just to remind you, everybody can also reply to the quotes that are already there or to any instructions that are there. So if you want to do that, please do so.
Please do so. Thank you. And now Liliana is going to do I'm going to stop sharing because Liliana is going to start sharing. How do I do this? There you go. Okay, Liliana, it's all yours.
Thank you. So I'm going to share screen now. And go to strategy 14, role plays, drama, pantomimes, and charades. Now, I have to tell you all that Paul is a real wizard into finding all these apps. So he really found the app, but I really like it, and I think that we can collaborate live very well to Stoneboard also. And I'll start by asking this question. Did you ever play charades? And then everybody can go here and just answer that. These 4 facts you like about the game charades, and 4 facts you don't like about the game. Adults are very involved when acting out words or phrases that their team members are attempting to guess. The strategy of role places the body as close to the actual event as possible without them having to be there. So why theoretical framework? According to Ginsberg, role-playing makes accommodation for multiple perspectives and can be very powerful for engaging learners of all ages. Paul, did you ever experience with this?
I had something very similar, or I experienced with are we talking about specifically about, well, actually, I think it was maybe role play. And I think I mentioned it, I put it in there somewhere. Can you see my, where did I put?
Maybe the next one?
It may, I think it put it in
here?
yellow. No. I think I put it in yellow.
Let's see one together then.
Yeah.
Physical performances is probably the only known cognitive activity that uses 100% of the brain. So that means actors and dancers use 100% of the brain. Can you give me another example?
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. That's. Are we going to be responding to this, Liliana? Are the whole class? At the whole class?
Yes, the questions are for the whole class. And
Okay.
I hope everybody will go there and answer.
Okay.
Since our knowledge is dependent on the state of brain, things that are learned during role play may be accessible later when should be the same situation occurring. What specific topic can be taught based on this principle? Having groups practice summarizing, clarifying, and probing the role play situations is much more impactful than simply telling adults how important are those skills. Role-playing is applicable to all subject areas and takes into consideration multiple perspectives. What perspectives do you see important to consider in your subject area? During simulations, learning is more enjoyable and memorable since more creativity and choice are utilized and there is little fear of negative evaluation. Give an example of simulation that help you learn. So each of these ideas from strategy 14 can be used. We can add questions, we can talk about it, put everything together. Any of them, any of them. When people out of concept, the memory of that concept is stored not only in the mind, but in the body as well. Role plays use spatial, visual, linguistic, and bodily modalities, and therefore not only access emotion, but also enable the brain to comprehend at much deeper level than a lecture will do. The more closely a role play activity imitates the psychological states and physiological states the brain enters when they're applying the information in real life, the easier it is to retrieve memory or learning when trying to recall it later. I think this is very similar with what we saw on the blackboard, that story Dr. Lewis posted about her husband rescuing the dolphins. Simulations increase meaning, are highly motivating, and facilitate transfer of knowledge. Let me give some examples. And the question for the whole class, how will you incorporate role plays, drama, pantomimes, and charades into professional learning to engage participants' brain? Here is your posting.
Yes, I think I may have put it in the wrong place. I put it on all by itself. Do you want us to put answer them within your comments, right? As a reply to your comment?
Yes, yes.
I did that.
Because then I will show you how we can print a report and have for each question all the answers together. We're going to go over that report that we did earlier, the PDF file. So,
okay.
but read it anyway. Read your posting.
What I did is I looked last year we read a poem called My Papa's Waltz, and my seniors had no idea on what a waltz was. So what I had them do is I went to YouTube and found a nice waltz, classical waltz, and moved the chairs around, and we started waltzing. Of course, at the beginning they were a little hesitant, and I had to actually teach them. And then I realized not only did I have to teach them, I wound up doing is downloading a YouTube little lesson on how to waltz, but they absolutely loved it. They loved it, and what we wound up doing is everybody knew what a waltz was, and not only that, everybody remembered. The good part about it was that during their senior dance, when they had to waltz, they all remembered the poem, which I thought, hey, that's a great tribute to an English teacher to actually remember them during their prom. Wow, that's pretty impacting. So I like this. I agree with you. the role playing and getting them up to move works wonderfully.
Yeah, the physical implication is very powerful for the brain. And through the app, we can also print reports. So not only that we can collaborate and all of us can answer here, but we can print reports, and a report look like this. So we have the name of the strategy or the name of the chapter, whatever we are brainstorming about, the date when the report was prepared, how many participants you had there, how many ideas, how long was the project, and then you can see what are the popular ideas that are in the project.
Oh yes, because we can vote on the on those ideas, which one we like the most, and some might get more points than others. So that means that we kind of everybody decides we want to talk about this one, for example.
So please let's do that, and we're going to print another report towards the end of the week.
That would be great. That would be nice.
And there is another page where, yeah, you're right. You can see the votes here, right?
Yes.
20 possible votes, where each question it's posted individually, and we can also see the replies. So the paragraph simulations increase meaning, are highly motivating, and facilitate transfer of knowledge. My question is examples, and as you will reply, I will see your examples here and so forward. So I think it's a great tool for any teacher. And finally, we have a pie chart about who answer, and if individually we pick a color, we can also see that way.
Yeah.
So that's about it. I hope you enjoy this type of presentation and come up in the storyboard with more ideas about how we can use role play, drama, pantomimes, and charades in teaching.
I think it took out a little longer than we thought, but we really wanted to show you these because we did actually a nice collaborative job. I do say so myself, Liliana and I, of getting together and showing you all this. So that kind of concludes our presentation.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thank you, class. We're looking forward to your class.
Thanks. I'm going to turn this off.